Welcome back to the channel, guys. Last video we did the clutch cable and stuff like that in the truck in the TDI swap, and we found a lot of issues with the wiring. So right now we have the dash halfway taken apart. We are going to finish taking it out. Gotta take speaker bezel trim off, a lot of these side bolts over here, and cut a bunch of zip ties up in there places. And yeah, we're just gonna put it on time warp. We'll get the dash out and then show you all the issues with the wiring. But we also got to drop the steering column as well, and we got to take off this Momo wheel because we got a nice new wheel. Case most times with this truck, you just keep finding more and more crap. When I pulled the dash out, I found that the box, the actual blower motor, all that stuff is just not even bolted in. It's just dangling under the cowl here. And then the wiring harness that I found that was melted, it looks like it controls the whole heater box, you know, which it has a decent amount of amps running through it. This is an AC truck, but we're not going to have AC in it. The wiring harness in question was this one right here. See, there's nothing melted up here. Looks like all the issue happened down here. Here's the whole wad. This is like, I think it was, I don't know what it was, but yeah, it's in pieces. Someone's been in here taping, so someone knew about it. But anyway, I'm here. I'm glad the truck didn't burn down. Hopefully we can address it and keep it from burning down. You can see there's just plenty of, here's some wire nuts for Romex wire, the actuator for the blend door or the defrost. That's not even functioning. And you can see kind of goofy wiring that I had to cut down. One thing I did forget to take out was the headlight switch. I always forget these, but yeah, you can see it. Here's the nut. This goes through the dash and screws into the headlight switch, and that's what locks it into the dash. I mean, it looks like as of right now, we can kind of keep everything wiring wise, the majority of it, and only go and find the issues in the heater wiring, as well as getting rid of all this crazy wiring, wiring the radio properly. It just keeps spiraling. Stay with me. Is just going to be taking this stuff apart, getting it ready, because remember, we do still have to wire in the TDI. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is our AHU. It's a Mark III TDI engine, and it's in here. It's completely bolted in. I showed you guys how to mount these into these chassis easily, and I also showed you how to put an O2J shift tower into an O2A box into a Mark I. There's a lot of videos on this truck. Hopefully you guys check them all out. Hopefully you guys are checking out all the other stuff that we have. But for right now, I'm just going to be cleaning up this stuff. I found a ton of issues with the steering column. The guy I bought it from, he did do the lower bearing. You can see it is done, and if he did it, if someone else did it, they did strip out every single bolt. So I can either try to helicoil it, which probably be hard, or just get a whole nother lock and barrel assembly. And because of that, the turn signals have always been an issue on the truck, and you can see it's kind of like exploded inside. It doesn't come down anymore. So maybe I can take this apart and fix it, but We'll see. I think I might have one of these. If I have one, I'll probably just swap it in if I can't fix it. We're not going to be putting the dash back in right now. So what we are going to be doing, cleaning up the wiring, and then once we clean up the wiring, then we're going to start on the engine harness and probably redoing all the lighting, all the wiring harness out here in the engine bay, because connector, extra wires, connector somehow, more connectors, retape job, and then over there it's even more of the same. So we just got more to do. We'll get it done, but it's just gonna take some time. Unfortunately, wiring is wiring. It takes a long time, guys, so bear with me. I'll try to keep everything as short as possible. At this point, we did take I took the AC box out specifically so I could fix a few things. The heater core hoses rubbed through on the firewall. It was just something that I didn't see, but I got the grommet cleaned out and better. And the only hose that I had laying around was silicone hose. Hopefully it works well. It's rated for coolant, so hopefully it lasts. And then I showed you guys the defrost flap was pretty messed up. I just did an array of zip ties just to lock this thing in place. Hopefully, again, that works. So the last clip you saw, we were gonna put in the box. You can see it's no longer here. Well, I messed up and I totally forgot to record, because not only did we go in and we put the AC box back in, but remember, we're not having AC. But I really messed up because I was gonna basically address the wiring, and after diving into it, kept finding little issues, and then by the time I got out to the engine bay stuff, at that point you might as well just pull everything. On Mark 1 it's actually really easy. As you can see, everything is totally bare in here. The only stuff that stays are these kind of connectors for like body lights, door chime, dome light, that kind of stuff. But right here, let's see, this is the entire fuse box side of the car. You can totally leave this in the car, it's nice and easy. But I wanted to kind of inspect the fuse box, go back here, make sure there's no issues, and I'm going to kind of dive into the wiring in here. If there's any issues, I'll address it. And what I like to do on these older harnesses, because usually they come just like this as a rat's nest, any like loose wiring, I always use this Tessa tape stuff, because it's an OEM style fabric tape and it works really well. So electrical tape, I wouldn't use it because it always just flakes and falls right off, especially like due to heat and stuff. This is kind of OEM. Here's Tessa. You can get 3 big rolls for like, I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. And usually 3 big rolls will get you through 1 wiring job. I've just been going through, tidying up stuff, cutting out stuff that wasn't needed. See, there's a bunch of just nasty wiring in there. I'm going to be redoing the radio, and it's not a big deal right now, but we did take all the wires out, so the entire radio system is gone. And what we're going to do, well, what I'm going to try to do is look for like one of those retro radio, like Bluetooth conversion things to put in, and then I'll just run new wires cleanly as best I can, because we do have dash speakers. So here are the dash speakers right here. So I'll keep those, and then what I like to do in trucks is I'll run the wires down behind the seats, and I will put either, it's whatever you can afford or have access to or whatever. You can either put 4x6s in a box, you know, those like small kind of triangular trapezoid box, whatever you want to call them, and you just set them in place, just leave them there, and you get some good radio. Or you can get a 5x7, 6x9s, you know, you could just keep going up. When you pull these out, it comes out in 2 Firewall grommets. So, not that one, and that one. This one is for the wiper motor. But so those two down there. The one closest to the Firewall, that one is for all like the accessories, option stuff, power of the car, chassis, that kind of stuff. So you have the actual power wire from the battery, power wire to the fan, power wire to headlights, turn signals, wiper motor. Yeah, here's wiper motor. Just a bunch of stuff. I don't know what these things are. I assume it's some shoddy wiring that someone else did, because I really have no idea what they are. I'm gonna take them apart and look at it. And then the other one closer to the brake booster, that is your actual engine harness. This black plug is always your engine harness plug. So like if you had a gas car, this would have like your coil hot and stuff like that, switched ignition, that kind of stuff. And it also houses this is the glow plug relay. So you notice that by the big gigantic wires. So they come down, come through to these two wires right here, and then on the Firewall you have a fuse. That I think we are going to keep. I don't know. I don't know yet. I keep getting sidetracked with everything, so I haven't even touched the Mark III harness yet. So that's a whole another thing. But this also has the power for obviously the glow plug harness, oil temp, coolant temp. This is the solenoid on top of the injection pump, that like the shut-off solenoid. Basically this allows the fuel to flow on the injection pump, and that's it. That's it, because everything else is mechanical. So literally to start an old mechanical diesel, that's the only wire you need. That's how easy a Mark I harness is. And now obviously it's gonna get much bigger when we go to do the Mark III harness. Speaking of that, everything's over here in the TDI swap box. Here's all the wiring, ECU. Yeah, it's old, dirty, gross diesel stuff. So it's gonna be a while all on its own. I would have liked to have something better for you guys, but yeah. Here's where we stand right now with the truck. Obviously we had the plans of just doing a weekend swap, and that went totally out the window. So to make this job simple, I was literally just bolting this in, because remember, we do have big plans for this where we're putting a bigger turbo on it. We are putting a different intake manifold on it. We're building a big intercooler for it. We got a lot of stuff that we wanted to do, but I wanted to keep it simple. Me keeping it simple actually made it much harder, because with a Mark III TDI, these, you can't see it, but the turbo has this crazy one-off flange. And I had to make one basically, because you can't buy them. Here's what it looks like. This is a 2.5-inch pipe, and this is a Schedule 10 1.25" 90 that I cut straight down the middle and just cut it and welded it all together. I didn't want it to be pretty, but I also didn't want it to break. So everything around there is TIG welded, but it's stainless to mild steel, so it doesn't look the greatest. And over here, I just MIG welded this because I wanted to get it together. I made this half here and half at work. I got the basic idea of it and then took it to work to finish it. So I also had to buy just a piece of 5x5 1/4" mild steel, and basically I just put the gasket on it, traced it out. That's why this funky shape is there and it's staying, because that is the shape of the OEM gasket. When you look in here, you see that big kind of lip, but you can't egg it out because that's how the turbo is. So since this is this goofy, crazy contraption, this took me like a day and a half to make. The other day we went to the dyno with the Golf. I got the paper right there, and I don't know if you guys will have seen that video, so I won't show you the numbers. Everything's still going along as planned. I'm still fighting with the carbon fiber sunroof on the Mark II. that's really been killing me and taking a lot of my time. So please guys, give me like, comment, subscribe, share some videos if you can. We did just pass 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking along with me. And know that I'm very overwhelmed with these projects. See you guys in the next one.